That's I'm okay. Hello, welcome to my channel, or if you recognize me from one of my many shorts, then welcome back. It's so good to see you. I am Tess, formerly known as creativenaturedtes, and I actually say formerly because if you saw the thumbnail, you know that this is a channel revamp. So without further ado, let's get into the video. We are starting off first with the logo because I don't know, the logo is always the first thing I try to do to get out of the way. I personally do not like making logos, so I started off with the fun part of making logos, which is the fonts, and I decided to make my own fonts myself. I've actually never done that, despite the fact that I'm a graphic designer. I've seen a lot of people do it and it looks really cool, but kind of difficult at the same time. So I tried to do my own font. I was going for this whimsical type of vibe with the swirls and everything. I see a lot of those type of designs on my Pinterest feed a lot, so I got inspired by that. I had my own Pinterest board dedicated to the fonts, so yeah, I was really into it. I started doing the little swirls on my name because I decided to change my name from Creative Nature Test to My Dear Star, because My Dear Star is, I wanted that channel only to be for my arts, and then I wanted to just create a simple Pinterest page for my Creative Nature Test, because Creative Nature Test, I wanted it to be only my graphic design. I don't want to mix my graphic design and my arts together. So yeah, that's why I had to change my name also. I still like to be referred to as Tess, but Star is kind of makes sense more because it's the meaning of my middle name, which is Esther. So Esther means star in Persian. So that's why I decided to change it to Star, because Tess is not my real name, it's kind of an internet name. So it's kind of hard explaining it to people. So that's why I changed it. I'm starting to color, pick out the colors. Picking out colors is not for me. Yes, I'm a graphic designer and an artist, and I don't like colors. It's so difficult because you never know what color goes with what. So at the end of the day, you kind of have to experiment and try out what would look good with this and what would look good with that. I ended up with this yellow one. This yellow one is the default, and not my favorite, but I liked it. This other yellow one, I was trying to go for dark and light to see which one I would like better. I liked the lighter version better. I prefer the lighter version, if I'm being honest. Yeah, that's the purple. The purple is my favorite. The purple and the pink, they are my favorite of the variation of colors that I chose. The purple and the pink. Oh yeah, I like the blue too. Okay, okay, I like the pink the most, then purple and then blue. And I added these little stars to fit the whimsy vibe basically. And I decided to make another variation because usually when you do logos, you usually use two different variations. We're starting next with the banner. This banner was kind of difficult for me to do because I was having problem finding out which measurement is the right measurement for YouTube banner, because the guide they give you on YouTube itself is way different from the one that they give you when you search up YouTube banner measurements in pixels. So I just eventually went and screenshotted the one on the website because that was the most accurate. And I started designing just using the logo I had made before, but I decided that it was kind of lazy and I just put a random background. So I did a new one, and this one I wanted it to be letter themed, because if you hear the word my dear star, the first thing you're going to think of is like the intro to a letter. So that's what I wanted to depict. So I was making this envelope, 2 envelopes, one showcasing the front, one showcasing the back, and then on it I'll have the my dear star logo. This did not work out also. I had so much trouble with figuring out the design, but this did not work out either. I'm so glad I thought of what I thought of at the end, but you'll see. So this is the new banner, the 3rd banner that I'm trying to make. This was the final one that I decided to use because I just liked this idea better. When I thought of it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a smart idea. So basically what I'm making is a wax seal.
Like the wax seal you have, when you seal your envelope.
So that was what I was envisioning. And then I used the submark, the little spiral star, as a design into the wax seal, because I thought, oh, that would be so cute. I didn't want to use the MDS or my dear star because that would be a bit hard to read, but this one is more legible. The way I made the wax seal was using bevel and emboss. I just made any organic shape. Wax seals are kind of circular, but they have this movement to the edges of them. So I just made that kind of loose shape, used bevel and emboss, and now brought in submark logo and used bevel and emboss on it again. Converted it into a smart object and used bevel and emboss again, but a different one, which is just the regular emboss, so it can look like it sunk into the wax seal itself. I was trying to go for this creamish color, but it did not end up looking right. And I also wanted to do something with purple tones, so I decided to choose lavender instead of the light cream. I also added an extra emboss on the whole wax seal so it can look sunk into the paper in a way. I don't
really have a reference to what I was saying. I was just kind of imagining how wax seals look like, and I know what they look like, but I didn't get an in-depth look on how they look like.
So I'm just creating the regular folds of the envelope, top and bottom, and then that was it. And this is the final results. I'm so glad I thought of this idea. One day when I was brainstorming ideas for the intro slash outro, I was on Pinterest scrolling and then I saw an explosion and I was like, wait, I could make that my star submark explode into like a million stars, that kind of idea. And that's exactly what I did. It started exploding, and then afterwards my username comes up, my dear star. That was just the idea. I did this in After Effects. Yeah, I just learned how to use After Effects a few days before, so I was like, let me just try it out, because I did not want to use Animate. I haven't used Animate in a long time, and I probably should be using it because I'm kind of getting rusty and forgetting some things, but that's besides the point. So it started with a heartbeat and then star will explode into a million stars. I have to be honest, there's a little error with the intro and I don't know how to fix it, so I'm just going to leave it and pretend like it doesn't exist, because everything else is fine. It's just that little mistake that most people might not notice. I don't know. I'm not going to lie, I had a different idea when I was brainstorming the outro and intro. It was supposed to be a girl sitting down depicting me. Yeah, this is the final results of the intro. We are moving on to the fun part of the video, which is the graphics. I wanted to have a little animation going on, a little animated character on the screen as you're watching. I thought that would be really fun, so I chose Jesus, of course. I initially just wanted to have Jesus just walking on the screen, but then I was like, Jesus is the shepherd. What if I have him herding a group of sheep. Like, what's better than that? So I decided to make him leading a group of sheep somewhere. I don't that was basically the idea. So I was drawing Jesus. I first sketched him out. I grabbed a lot of reference actually because I don't really know how to draw chibi. So I needed as much reference as I could get. So here is Chibi Jesus, the sketch anyways. Then I used the pencil and started filling it to create his face and everything. But I used the stroke and then filled it, which was wrong. I basically used the stroke and then was erasing parts of the fill that did not fill the whole face, which was wrong. You see how I did it better in the next part of the body. If this thing was not sped up, it would have taken a lot of time for me to finish it. So this was my idea. Just fill it and add stroke later. I don't know why I didn't think of this initially. I was just stressing myself trying to use the brush to fill it in. That was not a good idea. But I'm glad I was not in the middle of it before I realized what I could have done better. Thank God, because that would have taken a long time. I kind of regret making his hair wavy. Not wavy, but it's a bit rough, and I kind of regret doing that because I didn't really like the look of it. I could have just done a simple 3 swoop kind of wavy, but I wanted it more complicated. I don't know why. I shouldn't have done that. Also, I had problem with this purple. Getting this purple was kind of difficult. I wish I could have changed it to something maybe in the pink area, maybe something purpley pink, but it's fine. Then I started working on the sheep. I got this reference from Pinterest. I have no idea whose art it is. Credits to them, because if I hadn't found this sheep reference, I don't know what I would have missed. This sheep ended up looking so cute. And then when I was done with the sheep, I just decided to duplicate everything. And now that I'm thinking about it, I could have given all the sheeps different colors of flowers. That would have been really cute. On Photoshop, I used the frame by frame animation to just create a cute GIF by rotating the legs. I was trying to make a border for the intro of my videos. This did not go well either, so I decided to scrap the whole thing and start from scratch. Also, if you couldn't already tell, the theme for the channel for now is purple. That's why basically everything is purple. Then this is for the transition. After each title opening, then this will come in to slide into the next part of the video. So that was what I was doing. So this is the first border that I made for the intro, and then I started making the little box that you see below, which carries my text. I just wanted something fun. I didn't really want text to be below, especially because of the little animated chisels that is moving across the screen. I thought that would be very confusing if it could have worked, but this was more fun. Let's just say that. The text box was inspired by graham crackers, I believe. Yeah, or just crackers in general. And I added a little dollop of whipped cream on both sides. Yeah, as the graham cracker. To be honest, it would have been cute if I added those little bumps at the edge of the text box, but I was kind of lazy to do it, so that's why I didn't do it. But maybe next time, maybe. Welcome back. We have made it to the end of the video, unfortunately, but there actually is more because I did do a lot of graphics for the videos. So I'm going to release a part 2 of this. I just couldn't put it here, it was way too long, but I'm already working on the part 2. So if you like this video, maybe you could consider liking or subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. And Jesus loves you. Don't forget that. Bye.